Hello. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Andy Dill. I'm from iTip Safety Handles. I want to talk to you this afternoon about innovation doesn't have to be expensive. Manual handling. We all know you always want to automate it wherever possible, but you cannot do it in every situation. It might be a situation where you just don't have the mechanical equipment there, or you don't have the time, or it just needs to be done now. Wheelbarrows have been with us since time immemorial, and I'm sure they will stay there till the end. They've always been a useful piece of kit for moving aggregates and taking waste away. One of the interesting things from the government budget last year was the government put £400 million aside to work on reducing MSK, that's musculoskeletal injuries. So that's everything to do with the lifting and also the area of carpal tunnel syndrome, which is to do with your nerves. And when you're holding on to things like handles and you're rotating them, you're going to get pains in your wrists. Okay, so we invented this idea of rotating handles, and I'll give you a quick demonstration. So traditionally you'd have the idea of, with a wheelbarrow, you'd come along, you'd have to chuck it up in the air and catch it, which is obviously a situation where you're not in control. So it was never possible to do a ram statement with a wheelbarrow. However, with the introduction of our invention, it's a UK invention, built in the UK as well, you always have control and you never let go of the wheelbarrow. We then went and worked with the HSE. Now, I don't know if you've come across the Health and Safety Executive. They are a fascinating group from the government. They have this, it's a bit like Q when you, in James Bond. So you go into this big hall and it's got lots of people in white coats looking at bits of equipment and taking them apart to work out why they're not working, how they should work correctly, and if there was an incident, how do they make sure it doesn't happen again? Well, when they got hold of our iTip safety handles, they said, well, this is something that we could really make a difference with for a manual handling. And after 8 months of working with them, they came back with a thorough analysis for us and said, yes, it can make a real difference to all of us to reduce the chances of back injuries or wrist injuries. Now, we have this report. It's available on our website. If you go up there, you can download it. So this is our range of products. The iTip safety handle on the top, the D style, is really good, especially for narrow entrances, because it's nice and narrow. We often use that in kind of gardening situations. Then we've got the very low maintenance ease tips, which these guys are here on this wheelbarrow. Now the beauty about these is they're very low maintenance. So if you've got teams going out all the time and they just don't have the time to do the cleaning processes, these are the ones for you. And in fact, these are the ones we're going to talk mostly about today. Then when we did some work with Reading Council, they said, well, one of our biggest problems is taking muck away from doing potholes and working on byways, but actually lifting that into the back of a low vehicle, because you shouldn't be running up a plank into the proverbial skip anymore. It's not the done thing. So they thought of the idea of actually putting a second set on the nose, which you can see down the bottom there. And that means that both the person on the front and the back can keep their back straight and their wrist straight, so they're reducing the chances of injuries. We've actually also started adding the provision of the wheelbarrow itself. So we've been working on a specific wheelbarrow, working with the councils and the subcons, which works better for tarmacking. It's got a reinforced plate at the bottom. And obviously has the safety handles already attached. Okay, so we were really, really lucky last year to win one of the LPRIG awards, and that gave us the opportunity to work with local councils with a 50% upsell or up addition to the products that they could buy at once. We were very lucky to have Cornwall, Cormac, to take advantage of that offer, and they have been reviewing iTip safety handles for the last 5 months on site in actual battlegrounds. Now, this wasn't just been for tarmacy. They've used it for things like erosions around coastal paths. They've used it on areas such as burial scenarios. So all areas of the council working, environmental, all areas of the council's work, they've been using iTip safety handles on their barrows and experimenting. So these are some of the results. So over that 5 months period, the actual response from their teams is that 96% of the guys said that it really made a difference for them. This is 20 different road crews going out with them. So you're going to have all abilities, all ages, all different people using it for different purposes within the council using these wheelbarrows, and they've finally made it that much of a difference. I think it's quite amazing. What we've got now is a non-believer. Yes, there were non-believers in Cornwall. And this is one of the gentlemen that didn't really think it was something that he would find useful, didn't have the belief that it would help him in making sure that his back and his wrists were kept safe. So what I love about this is that we did actually ask him to do that. The guys at Cornwall obviously asked for feedback from all their teams, and this non-believer, Steve, actually changed his mind on the whole concept of it after using the iTip handles for a while, and that made a difference for him. In fact, one of the quotes was, they wouldn't actually use a wheelbarrow again unless it had those handles on there to protect his back and his wrists. If you want confirmation of the product, no more can you ask for than that. We exit. Ross, who's here somewhere today, I can remember when we were working with the guys up at North Yorkshire Highways, came out with this great quote: iTip handles are an easy way to show we care about the welfare of our team. And that's what it's all about. It's about looking after your fellow workers and making sure they have a long, thorough career working on the motorways. Cool. Really appreciate your time. I'm very lucky that I've got a good contingent of the team from Cornwall here. So if you've got any questions for me or to the guys, do you want to come and join me for a minute, Andy? This is Andy James from Cornwall. Give a quick clap. That's nothing. Have you got any questions for us, guys? Sorry. No? Is any of the other councils here that would be interested in taking use of this? We think we can still provide the 50% funding from LPRIG at the moment. So if there's any other local authorities or subcons that are interested in getting involved like you guys did, would you like to talk about the experience?
Yeah, I think Steve says it all. If you can convince Steve that it's a good idea, then it truly is a good idea. He's a bit like Trigger in his broom, he flips the horses. He's had that wheelbarrow for 20 years and that. I think it's been a really positive experience, really good working with you guys, really good collaborative kind of effort. And we'll definitely now be putting an order in and keeping them in stock. Bit of a debate for us whether, so you can buy a wheelbarrow or you can buy the handles to fit the wheelbarrow. We're having that discussion now about whether we actually purchase the barrow with it fitted or whether we stick with our normal supplier and we retrofit handles. Some of the guys like the ones down by the homes, some of the tarmackers don't, because when they tip and scrape, they say that gets in the way. So again, a bit of a discussion about horses for courses, which ones to use. But yeah, overall, really, really, really positive. And And like I say, if Steve's convinced, then I'm convinced. And so happy days. I'd also like to thank Andrew Hocking. Andrew's our senior safety advisor. Andrew's done all the work with this spec out in the feedback, not me. So all credit to Andrew, and thanks for coming out.
Get my actions here. All the shooting at other reasons.
Thanks very much for that, Andy. Have you made any adaptations? We know that we tried it down in Kent, and there were some adaptations that have been requested. How have they been taken forward, or where are we with that?
Which
Did you?
had this style? Did you have the other style? You had this style.
It did.
Okay. I'm not totally sure what the feedback was. Martin, are you aware of the Kent feedback?
Yes, you said the original D-handle.
Martin's my colleague.
The original D-handle did have some issues with clogging, and we set the easy tips, but we're still actually waiting for the feedback on the easy tips, so you can see that. So I think these easy tips will overcome the issues that you found with the original style.
Is that okay? So we'll talk afterwards. Just to say, we've got some leaflets here, so if you want to follow up with us, please do. We're on the stand, and literally, as you walk out the door behind the initial vehicles, you'll find us out there. This might give us away. We do a lot of tipping. It's good exercise if anyone is a bit warming up outside. Thanks ever so much for your time, and thanks for listening to us today. Thanks to Andy for coming up.